Good afternoon and welcome to Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. I am the author of How to Get Television News Coverage. It's easier than you might think. And what I do is teach people how to identify news stories in their businesses and organizations, then help them get local or national news coverage, as well as produce news stories for their social media sites. Going to start off the show today with a story of transition. Many of you moved your loved ones from nursing homes during the pandemic, and others moved their parents into senior living facilities. But only a few people could actually assist in the move, and Sonia Long of Smooth Transitions was one of them. When the pandemic first struck, Sonia Long of Smooth Transitions was one of a few people who were allowed into senior living facilities to help residents move in or out. She was covered with protective gear from head to toe, but during this stressful time, Sonia was able to offer one great comfort.
We take pictures of everything in the home, and the china cabinets, the curio cabinets, the kitchen, whatever wherever their personal belongings are. We take pictures so that when we get to the destination, if that piece of furniture is moving, we can set it back up looking exactly like it was before they moved. We also try to keep their kitchens and bathrooms as close as possible to what they had at home, so it keeps them with a familiar environment.
The personal attention she gave to everything really impressed me. So when my mom moved from independent living to assisted living, and then to another place, and then to another place, and then actually during COVID, instead of having my mom locked up in an assisted living facility, I had Sonia move her to my home. And every step of the way, I was very it was very trepidatious for me because I couldn't be there. But Sonia knew what my mom had moved in there with. She still had that list. She knew what was coming out. She made sure everything was packed correctly. She made sure it was unpacked correctly, put where it was supposed to be put together, and did it all with a smile and a hug. And she's just amazing.
Sonia's services, combined with her stringent safety protocol, are extremely helpful to retirement communities that wish to welcome new residents but need to keep COVID out.
It's very important for this type of service that Smooth Transition offers. One, being in this pandemic time when we're trying to keep the virus out of the building, Sonia and her team have gone through the testing requirements. They know the testing requirements. They know all of the rules and regulations. So they are able to bring that stuff in here and help the family out where the family doesn't have to be here hands-on with this transition as they make it.
Another way I have pivoted is our National Association of Senior Move Managers has recently, since COVID-19, not reorganized, but did a name change for us. And so it's called National Association of Senior and Specialty Move Managers. That allows us to work with non-seniors or non-older adults, do special projects for young people that are moving, people that are divorcing, that need to sort through their stuff, and don't want to deal with each other. We also do storage cleanouts, and I'm actually doing a storage cleanout right now of 4 storages down at CubeSmart, and that's how I've been pivoting and being able to continue on with Smooth Transitions in South Florida.
Joining me now is Sonia Long of Smooth Transitions in South Florida. Hello, Sonia. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Jackie. Thanks for having me come into the show and share some information about Smooth Transitions in South Florida.
It's an amazing company, and I just love what you do. Sonia, can you share with us what it was like during the heart of the pandemic and moving loved ones under all those restrictions?
Jackie, I'm going to be honest with you. It was very nerve-wracking. Going into the communities, not knowing, at the time, the residents hadn't been vaccinated, and knowing COVID was running rapid in South Florida. I had to take some precautions for myself, for my staff, and we were wearing gloves, we were wearing the mask, I purchased shields for us to work in. Some cases you would need to cover your clothing. Gloves, it was just horrific. But somehow we made it through. We were able to transition families during the process. Actually, most of the communities would only let senior move managers and the movers in. Family wasn't allowed to go in. One of the communities that I assisted, we weren't even allowed in the building. The community packed their things, placed them at the door. I arrived with the moving company and myself, and they handed us the people's personal belongings through the door. When we were on site, going in and out, I tried to stay with my staff within the apartment that we were working on. There wasn't any communicating with walking down the halls or communicating with a lot of people. It was sign in, get your temperature checked, go to the apartment that you're supposed to be working in. And we attempted to have maintain that 6 foot distance between us and the residents. A lot of the times the residents weren't there, but if they were, they would be in one room and we would be working in another.
Yeah, I remember you sharing that with me when I originally interviewed you for this story. And, you know, just the fact that you had to do something so delicate, because the way you operate normally, you do something so special. Can you talk about the way you take their items, you know, and photograph, you know, what it looks like in the environment that they live in, and then recreate it somewhere else?
Sure. So when we are doing starting a project, I go in and interview the client, and we decide what they're going to take with them in their downsizing process, what's dear to their heart. And I go through and take pictures of everything, the china cabinets, the curio cabinets, the books, everything. And when we pick out and decide what furniture is going to go and what pieces are going to go and what we're going to be able to maintain, I have all that, the pictures taken. And when we get to the destination, I have done a layout. And so when I get to the destination, I'm able to recreate as much of their environment that they are leaving in their new home.
Let me ask you something, Sonia. Do you also, in your moving process, do you also help families who, say, have a family member that might have a lot of, you know, they have a lot more stuff than they need? And do you help them, like, say, let's get rid of this and let's keep this?
Yes, I do. That's called downsizing. And most of the families or my clients definitely needs to downsize before they can move to the smaller communities. So I go through each item. If there's no family member there, my service provides where I can go with them and help them to decide what they need to take with them, what they want to give to their family, what they want to donate, what they want to try to sell. And most of the time they want to try to sell their furniture that they've had for 25, 30, 40 years because they've spent a lot of money for it previously. And in South Florida, there's really not a market for furniture unless it's some piece that we have a auctioneer or a consignment shop that's really unique.
Yeah, clutter was the word I was trying to use delicately because, you know, clutter is just, you know, something that we all accumulate, you know, at some point, but letting go of it seems to be very hard, especially in the later years. You're just holding on to so many memories. And so it is just amazing to me to have somebody like yourself with the personality that you have. You know, that's a gift to be able to talk somebody into actually letting it go. So you don't only move seniors. Can you talk about the other services you offer?
So the other services that we offer, during the pandemic, the National Association changed our name from National Association of Senior Move Managers to National Association of Senior Move Managers and Specialty Move Managers. So that allowed me to venture out into cleaning out storage units, going through decluttering them, figuring out what the client wants to keep, what she doesn't want to keep, what we're going to send to California to her. Also, it opens us up to where I can now market to professionals that need the service. Also opens it up to where we can start looking into providing this service commercially, doing office moves, that type of thing.
Oh yeah, I could see that. And also I loved, you know, because you had mentioned to me how, you know, there's a lot of single people who are moving across the country, and a lot of times they have to go straight into their jobs and they really don't have time to do the move part, you know? And so your services come right in with that, and that's awesome. Sonia, can you tell us how we can find you? How can we reach you?
You can reach me at 561-213-7331, or you can go to my website, which is www.smoothtransitionsSFL.com.
All right, I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you being here and sharing this great information.
Thank you, Jackie, for having me.